Well, I'm here, and we're here on this auspicious day because we are kicking off a campaign that's a movement within the movement to liberate women from this new slavery, which is abortionism. This is how we characterize the ideas that are being expressed by the people who are marching in the street. I don't like to speak from paper, but since we will release this as a printed statement, I have to read it to you. The people of the United States should be alarmed that there are those among us who would actually march in the streets to demand the right to choose to kill the unwanted, the unloved, the burdensome, the inconvenient, and the incapacitated. The demonstration of our adversary, human beings, suggests a lack of heart, soul, and common sense. It underscores that we are resolved as never before that every woman's organization in this country has got to deal with these issues a little more forthrightly than has been possible in the past. Because for most of the organizations, of the general women's organizations that support that point of view, there has never been any kind of really in-depth discussion of such issues. Now, in order to provoke that conversation, we are going to release throughout this next 12 months a declaration of independence of true women, not ones who want to be artificial men or something else, but true women. And of course, I have to give credit to and with memory of Thomas Jefferson. When in the course of human events it becomes necessary for the majority of women to repudiate the biological bands which have related them to some other women, a righteous respect for the public's right to know requires that we set forth exactly what compels us to this kind of action. We reaffirm the words of our nation's founders. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by our Creator with certain unalienable rights, and the first and most basic of these rights is the right to life, that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed, that whenever any form of government becomes obstructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter and to abolish it and to institute new government. New experience has shown that the United States is not subjugated by a despot like George III of Great Britain, but it is in danger of becoming tyrannized by collectivists of people who do not appear to agree that this democratic republic's premise is that reasonable people will make prudent decisions. In fact, there's very little protection for individual rights when unreasonable people make imprudent demands. And it is truly an imprudent demand for the right to choose to get rid of the unborn child. And because we know indeed that there is a collision course of these individuals and their organizations, we have the idea that NOW, the National Organization of Some Women, in alliance with the other alphabet organizations, ACLU, PP, RCAR, NARAL, etc., are in deadly collusion to obtain the private right to kill, all having the direct objective of establishing a socialist order to replace our democratic republic. To prove this, let's submit a few facts. This dreadful alliance, with a belief in abortion as an act of faith, which we refer to as abortionism, has indeed a preoccupation with selfishness and self-centeredness, a compulsion to alienation from the rest of the human family. And this has imposed a new slavery on women who accept such notions. Now, this somehow separates people, this dangerous idea, so that in this new slavery, you have women crippled to the point that they can never become men, somehow never grow into women, but in a metaphysical sense become just a little bit less than human. This dreadful alliance has used its position against capital punishment to woo susceptible racial minorities, and they hide the fact that their social planning abortion policies would eliminate the target races. Those who are fewer will disappear faster. This is not only genocide. This is national suicide. This dreadful alliance has used the poor as pawns in its battle to maintain abortion access. It applies a fascist solution, which now they call liberal, to keep down the costs of caring for the poor. They get rid of those who are going to run up the costs.